Let's tighten up, Titans family. It's your boy, the One Piece Shark, back here again with another guest, my guy Ryan Harris, host of the post game Huddle. How's it going, man?
Man, what's going on, P. Sharp, man? Thank you for inviting me to your show. I'm very excited about this show today.
All right, no problem, no problem. Been meaning to get you on for a while. I know you've been a fan of the podcast. First got connected with you, I think it was Mr. Titans 1 year anniversary show. That's when I first saw you on there and been following you since. So, like, man, great. If y'all is not following this, man, great follow, man. Please follow him. I get you to plug your show in a second after I do my usual, of course, guest introduction Q&A for any first time guests. So, first up, I know where you from. I know where you're living at now. So, where are you from, and tell the people where you're living at.
Well, originally I am from Clarksdale, Mississippi. Call it the Delta. So, it's pretty grimy out there. We all get it from the mud, as the old saying. But I'm currently in Memphis, Tennessee. Enjoying myself. I've been living in Memphis for about 12 years now. So I'm a true Memphian now. So, love the city, love the atmosphere, love the people. One thing I know about Memphis, we passionate about the city. So definitely enjoy my time here in Memphis.
For sure. Like I say, fellow Memphian, definitely been meaning to have you on. That's a fellow Memphian. I should have got you on the Memphis Nashville versus Nashville episode, as a matter of fact. That would be fun. But Clarksdale, like I know my family, my dad and my actually from Clarksdale. They grew up. They moved there when he was like 7. So that we go down there every once in a while. We go down there, visit the old gravesite and everything. So I know a lot about Clarksdale. What, an hour and a half down the road?
Yep. Head down Highway 61. So yep.
Yep, head straight down. So yep, definitely some familiarity there. So how and when did you become a Titans fan?
Really, it started around around in the mid 90s. Basically, I was a big fan of Warren Moon. Actually, my first ever jersey that I had was a Warren Moon jersey. My mom bought it for me. It was a J.C. Penney catalog. This was back in the day when we had the big old catalogs, and they had the jerseys that you can order online or whatever, or order on through the catalog or whatever. So kind of fell in love with them, and then I kind of liked the colors and everything at that time, the light blue and the red and everything. And then when I found out they was moving at first to Memphis, I was like, oh, Memphis finna have a team. And then some stuff kind of behind the scenes happened. And then, they played at the Liberty Bowl. I actually went to my first Titans/Oilers game at the Liberty Bowl. It was the first game of the season. Yep. They played the Oakland Raiders, to be exact. Yep. And it was not a lot of people at that game. And now looking back at it, and then, Memphis didn't really showed a whole lot of support for the team. I guess because they found out that they was getting used and everything. So Bud Adams did what he had to do to try to get a new stadium, and he went to Nashville. And I've been basically following them ever since.
Yep, for sure. And like I said, you're a Memphian now. You know how Memphis is about.
Absolutely.
Like, when we with you, but we know they've been going to Nashville anyway. Nah, forget that. Now I know a lot of people that don't like in Memphis, they don't like the Titans because of the whole experience.
Right.
That's like I was too. I was like 7 years old when it all happened. So when I first started watching football, they were already in Nashville. Matter of fact, it was a Super Bowl year, and I was actually in Clarksdale. Ironically, watching the ALC Championship game. That's crazy. But so let's say you got a podcast, the post game huddle, and you just started the jump pass.
The jump pass, yeah.
Talk about your new podcast.
All right, so let me talk about the one I had for a while is the post game huddle. It's about to say it again. Network. It's just basically your NFL podcast. We talk about all things National Football League. We don't really focus on one team or whatever. We kind of focus on all the news that goes on in the National Football League. Just like my last episode, we addressed the John Gruden situation, and then we kind of talked about Thursday night football between the Eagles and Bucks. So we kind of just talk about a lot of things regarding the National Football League. And yes, and then I got my home podcast, the Jump Pass. Very excited about that. Now, this is just a strictly Tennessee Titan podcast. The cover basically is, Derrick Henry doing the jump pass in the 2000, I believe that was 2020 divisional game against the Baltimore Ravens. We basically shot the world and beat the Ravens, basically manhandled the Ravens. And so that kind of inspired me. I was like, you know what? That's the name right there. I'm gonna call it the jump pass. I've been having this in the vault. Just I felt like it was just the right time to go ahead and put it out in the public.
Nice. So, what got you into podcasting?
Honestly, just the people like yourself, Mr. Titan Upload. Everybody that just you guys have a voice, and y'all feel like you know what you're talking about in regards of a particular subject matter. And I feel like I can do those as well. I know that podcasting is not easy. It's a lot of work. You got to definitely be on your P's and Q's. You got to know how to dot your I's and cross your T's when you talk about a certain topic. And to me, I feel like I belong in that category as well. To me, as I mentioned on one of my episodes, I'm not in competition with anyone because I feel like, if you're doing great, that brings a smile on my face because I feel like one day I can get to that level as well, and that gives me encouragement to say, you know what, just keep going at it because eventually I get into that in that category as well.
For sure. Like you said, man, we all here together. Like part of the reason I started the podcast was I watch national media, watch ESPN. You ain't hear nothing about the Titans. Even had Marcus Spears tell me to go cry one time on Twitter. So this is funny. But yeah, I actually like Marcus Spears, so that was the crazy thing about all of it. But that, like I said, we just need like the Titans. I love like the connection with everybody, Mr. Titan. How you say a Titan Upload, Chris at Titans and Truth, and
TNT, yeah.
Right, just keep going on and on. It's like, man, that's what we need. I saw Titans Rossi tweet today saying you never had too many Titans podcasts. Like he loved it. Like that's what it's all about. Man, let's check some comments real quick. Your boy, Mr. Titan.
What's up?
Yes, sir, man. Appreciate you. And Ian Teasy, what's good? Tighten up.
What up, Ian?
A former fellow Tennessean from Jackson, Tennessee. So, man, Al Pierce, tighten up and go Titans. Kick Buffalo Bill tail. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Monday nights. So, what advice would you have for potential podcasters?
Basically, just to be yourself. That's the first and foremost. Don't try to be somebody else. Just stick to you. Be yourself. I've seen a lot of podcasts that fail because they try to be like somebody else. They try to be the reflection of another podcaster, and I'm like, just be yourself. Take your time. Have fun with it too. I see people that make a lot of money podcasting, and that gets them to that. That gets to the idea like, oh, okay, well, if that's where the money's at, then let me do it too. Don't have that mentality. Just say, you know what, I'm just going to do this because I know what I'm talking about, and just have some fun with it. Don't even think about the potential income that you can get from it. Just say, all right, I'm going to do this because I know about the Titans. I love the team. I know I got stats to prove or how well the Titans are, or I got stats to prove how bad the Titans are. And just stick to your to you, and just stick to yourself, be yourself, do what you got to do, and the audience will come as long as you continue to put out that content on a daily or weekly basis. The audience will come as long as you keeping it real.
For sure. And that's a very key point to make. Like when I first started, I told the story. I wrote the blog on there. Let's Be Real podcast. I actually quit. Part of the reason was not getting looked at views, weren't seeing the good views, but also the main reason was my guys Savage and Aston. Our schedules weren't working around at the time to meet, and at that time we didn't like we had Zoom was known, but it wasn't, it ain't like what we got now. We got StreamYard, you can use Zoom, you got what's that, Megaphone, any type of,
Megaphone, yeah.
yeah, like different type of platforms where you can actually do virtual now due to kind of blessings of COVID in a sense. Kind of came up.
Yep.
But said we didn't have, we didn't have access to that at that time. We may have had access, but didn't know about it. So that time we tried to meet in
Right.
person. So things like that happened, but yeah, it was good. Like I'm glad I restarted. Just the points you just made, like keep going. As long as you get the content going, as long as you keep rolling content on a weekly, monthly basis, how if you go, the fans are going to come. So that's just the key takeaway from it.
Yeah, and to kind of make another point, the best example I can give, look at Titans Rossi. All right, if you look at Titans Rossi,
Yep.
he started out, making songs and everything, and he talented now. Don't get
Yeah,
me
he
wrong,
does.
there he talented with that guitar. But once he started to find his niche and talking about the Titans, his channel is continuously growing and growing and growing. Same thing with Mr. Titan. His channel continues to grow and grow, and now he has 2,000 subscribers. He continues to keep going up, and like I said, just worry about your content. The audience will come.
Exactly. Right on. And speaking of guitar, shout out to my dad. Popping in, he's a bass player himself. So
What's up, Mr. Sharkey?
irony. And man, I see a couple of fellow Titan fans with a Mr. Titan for Al Pierce to Mr. Titan. Conversation. All right, so let's get into a week 5 review. So last week, Titans played Jacksonville. Games, I actually predicted that the game started off slow. I predicted it to be close in the beginning and us to run away with it, and that's exactly what we did. So what we ended up winning, the final score was, I can't even get it right now. What was the final score? It was a blowout. There we go, 37-19.
Yeah.
So yeah, crazy game. It was just 14-13 in the first quarter.
Yeah.
So what was your takeaway from the game?
You kind of said it. It was a slow start. I thought it was going to be another one of those. Here we go. It's the Jets all over again. Because it seemed like to me, the Titans were kind of, they had some momentum. Getting the defensive touchdown. Basically, what the second play of the entire game.
Yeah.
Get the former recovered touchdown. I was like, okay, that's exactly what they needed to do to get off on to a good start. And then it fizzled out really quickly. But it looks like, but as the game kept going, I felt like the Titans started to separate themselves, and then of course King Henry continues to dominate the Jags. I don't know what he got against the Jags. I don't know if one of the Jags representatives said something bad about him or his mom or whoever, but he always dominates against the Jags. And the Jags, this crazy part is the Jags know it's coming, and they just still can't stop it.
Yep. Man, this is thing. This is hometown, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, he's from Yulee, Florida.
Yeah, so now he's near it. So I know they brought a player up who had just broke his single game rushing record.
Yep.
To meet him at the game.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool too. I didn't think anybody would break his high school record. If you ever seen Derrick Henry's high school, his stats and his videos, man, I didn't think nobody would break that record.
Yeah, it's wild. But my takeaway, like I said, slow start, blowout. Typically, I go against the Jags. Even when you had the 99-yard touchdown, it was like 2-0 or 7-2.
Yeah, it was a weird score. Yeah,
at the second quarter, it's always like that. So I know you got the fan base on Twitter overreacting in the first quarter as usual. Think about the Jets game, like move forward, tunnel vision. Shout out to the Memphis Tigers last night. So that's what they had. So they had tunnel vision on the back of their shirts at Memphis Madness.
Oh, that was up.
Yeah. So like I said, that was like I said, solid game, bounce back performance. Still had some injuries. Hey, we had 23 players on the injury report last week and 17 on IR. So we lost to the Jets. We shouldn't have lost the game, but when you think about just what's going on with the team, injuries do play a factor, weighing it boy down to a lot of different things. We did play down to the opponent, but you can't deny us missing. And it was more than just Julio and AJ. Like even some of the backups players getting hurt throughout the game. Even happened again Sunday. It's just like Christian Fulton. It's questionable for Monday. We like Caleb Farley wasn't at practice again. Like who gonna be a quarterback? But we'll get to that in a second. But we did get a surprise return. I did 90 episode returning my old friend Avery Williamson. I was very happy to see that. I actually forgot where he was at. I remember he went to the Jets, but I didn't know where he went after it. I saw he went to Pittsburgh. And it was nice to see that we signed him, especially with our linebacker injuries. How you feel about his return?
Yeah, I'm right with you. I think that Avery brings a certain element to the defense. When he was here the first time, he was a great run stopping defender. Ironically, we struggled against the run against James Robinson. James Robinson had like a buff 50 on the on the Titans. So I mean, it came at a better time. So I thought Avery. I didn't know where Avery was at either. I did know that he was playing for the Jets. I remember he got picked up by the Steelers via trade from the Jets, but I didn't know where he was at afterwards. So, but it's a welcoming sight. He'd already know the roster very well. At least some of it. It's not too much roster turnover since he last played. I mean, he still got some of the guys like Kevin Byard. And I don't think he was there when Jeffrey was there, but I do. But you do got KB, Derrick Henry still there, so it's still a couple of those players are still in the locker room. So not much of a learning curve, but he does struggle a little bit in pass defense.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that's going to work out, but definitely, he's definitely a asset, especially against the run.
And his struggles to pass defense might reference to the point Ian just made, saying he had 100+ tackles last year with the Steelers. And I watched the Steelers defense, and I'll tell you now.
Don't remember 2 tackles from him.
But I saw that stat. I was like, dang, he had 120 tackles or something. But like you said, he's struggling in pass coverage, and that was the reason why we did give him a big contract, because he led us in tackling. I think 3 of the 4 years he was here, 2 or 3 of the 4 years he was here, but pass coverage with the league turned into more a passing league. At that time, couldn't justify paying him. I think the Jets paid him $9 million. Just couldn't justify paying that amount. And seeing that he had 100+ tackles last year, and he was available to get picked up mid-season, or I guess the beginning of the season from us. They'll let you know, like, his pass defense definitely needs some work. But we needed anybody linebacker, because I think at some point Monty Rice was out, Rashawn Evans was out. During the game against the Jags, I didn't even know who the hell left to play linebacker. Like, I said David Long. I'm like, we need 2.
Right, exactly.
Jayon Brown out.
Yep. So we very thin at the linebacker position. We out here getting guys from practice squad, and I don't think that's going to cut it for in the long haul. So definitely, Avery Williams couldn't come at a better time.
Right. Yep. He was on the Broncos practice squad. I saw that too. So that's crazy. Like, say, 100+ tackle last year, you're on the practice squad. That lets you know, like, teams want their pass defense matters a lot.
Yep, absolutely.
Man, but I was happy to have him back. He's excited to be back. Like I said, we needed somebody. He can't be worse than Rashawn Evans out there, but Rashawn Evans get a lot of tackles as well. Like, I don't know what he'd be doing out there, but he finds a way to get tackles.
Yeah, I think the problem with Evans is I think he's guessing instead of reacting. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? When you're trying to guess what a running back is going to, and you miss, then that's what happens. You give up a 30 or 40-yard play. James Robinson, couple of big chunk play. That's basically how he got his 150. It was some chunk play. It wasn't just like 8 yards here and 6 yards there. Man was getting 30 and 40 and 50-yard runs. And I'm just like, something's going on in the middle of this defense. And when I was looking back, I was like, it's Rashawn Evans. I don't know what he's doing. And maybe Vrabel's seeing the same thing. That's probably why he's like, you know what, we need to get some more help in linebacker. Somebody that's familiar with the system, somebody that knows a couple of players in the locker room. And Williamson, I think he's going to definitely help in that regard.
Yep, for sure. And shout out to James Robinson. He was on my fantasy team. I knew to start him. Just like last week, I knew to start Corey Davis against us. Like, I mean, I know my team.
Yeah, you got to do that. So sometimes when you doing that fantasy league stuff and you got your team, your team that you root for. Sometimes you got to be real with yourself and be like, okay, look, Titans. Yeah, I want them to win, but they're gonna struggle against this player right here, so I'm going ahead and pick him up.
Right. Like I got the best of both worlds. He gave me like a good 20, solid 20 some fancy points, and we won by 18. That's all I can ask for.
Yep, exactly.
That's all I can ask for. But let's move on to let's talk about week 5 reviews, talk about the Bills. So I did on our Let's Be Real podcast last week. We did our top 5 power rankings for the first 4 weeks. So it was so many 3-1 teams. It was like 13 3-1 teams to choose between. I actually, and it was no disrespect to the Bills, I actually had them outside of my top 5, just like 6 or 7. Only reason why is because I wish the Titans would do what they're doing, actually beat the lower opponents and actually beat them like 40-0. I loved it.
Yeah.
But that was part of the reason I didn't have them top 5. I was like, the teams I put in the top 5, I think I had them one, the Cardinals 5-0, had just blew out the Rams and blew out us. I had the Rams. No, I had the Rams 2 because they beat the Bucks. Had the Bucks 3. The Bucks had beat the Cowboys. Had the Cowboys 4, and the Cowboys beat the Chargers. Chargers 5. So I was like, all of them kind of played. They all them played each other, so it kind of lined up.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
And the Bills did lose to the Steelers first game of the season, may I add, but it kind of factored into it. So I was like, but I did state like they might be the best team out of these teams we just named, and we're going to see these next 2 weeks. They played the Chiefs Sunday, and they play us Monday. They beat the Chiefs pretty handily. You know, you had the rain delay and stuff, but they were beating them handily before that. So went to Kansas City, Arrowhead, as a matter of fact, and beat them 38-20. And the game really was not even that close. So what are your thoughts about the Bills? Well, I heard your thoughts, but tell the other people about your thoughts about the Bills.
I think they're the best team in the league. I think the Bills are the most complete team in the league. I think the only weakness they really have right now is they have a problem stopping the run, which that's the advantage Titans.
To us. Yeah.
Yeah. But other than that, Josh Allen, I think Josh Allen is the MVP in my opinion. They got the weapons. You know, you got really Diggs ain't really just haven't went off really, if you really think about it. And Josh Allen still getting yards, getting big yards to chunk plays. Emmanuel Sanders is an upgrade over what they had John Brown.
Yeah.
Upgrade. And then you get, Cole Beasley. He hasn't really showed up either. And then they starting to use the tight end more.
That's what I was about to say. He's on my fantasy team.
Yeah, they use Dawson Knox, man. Shout out to Ole Miss, man. But Dawson Knox, man, has really been killing it like over the last 3 or 4 weeks. He's getting big. He's the big playmaker right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the long passing touchdown that they had against the Chiefs. I mean, that was Dawson Knox just wide open. But that's, to me, he's the most underrated player on that team right now, because he's getting involved. A lot of people focusing on Diggs. They're trying to take away the short stuff with Beasley, and he's reaping the benefits.
Yep, for sure. And it's crazy. Then once in Knox, AJ Brown and DK Metcalf at Ole Miss at the same time.
Yep, at the same time. It's amazing that they did all that. You know, they had all those great players, and they couldn't really do much at Ole Miss. It's unfortunate.
I remember they scored a lot. They just couldn't stop.
They did.
They lost to Alabama like 77-43 one time. I was like, you scored 43. How you give up 77? Like,
I don't know. That's wild to me.
I know DK got hurt too. So I did an episode earlier about top 5 Ole Miss receivers based on AJ Brown. That was a little nice discussion.
Yeah.
But the Bills, like I said, the only reason I have my top 5 on because of the schedule, but you can't deny everybody else had all the other guys, the 6 of us, they all had them in their top 5 somewhere, because you beating teams 40-0 in the NFL. Don't really care what your schedule is. So, like I said, it's so many 3-1 teams. It was like, I hate to leave them out, but like, golly, these other teams impressive too. The Chargers, like, kind of hard to deny these teams. But beating Chiefs like that, Kansas City, I don't care. It's still Kansas City. I know they're struggling right now, but in my mind, their defense really wasn't good the last 2 years, if we want to be honest. Now, they may have gotten even worse, but they're turning the ball over. That's their real problem, because Pat Mahomes never had this many picks. He already had more picks this year than he had all last year. So that does, I think that's making a big difference for them this year. I don't know why they're pressing more, but I feel like
it's the defense. It's the defense.
It's defense, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like they got worse because Chris Jones is not the same. I don't know what happened.
And they playing him out of position. They actually
Mm,
playing him as a DN. He's the D
that's it.
tackle.
He's D tackle. Yep. So yeah, they run into some problems, and we played on next week. But hopefully they don't get going. I feel like they're gonna go on a run at some point. Hopefully it's not starting next week. But
And it might be the Super Bowl loser curse. I mean, you think about it last year.
boom. Yep.
You think about it last year. 49ers had all those injuries,
All
didn't
in.
make the playoffs. The Rams, they had that issue. Todd Gurley kind of had that injury from like the playoff run from the previous year.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't make the playoffs. It happens. Falcons, they actually
Never
did make
recovered.
the. Yeah, they
Yeah,
never
they
really.
made it back, but they lost. That
They
red
were like,
zone.
yeah, against the Eagles.
That
And the
red
Eagles,
zone.
I mean,
Yep.
think about the Eagles. They haven't recovered since the Super Bowl win. So it happens, man. It's hard. It's hard consistently winning year in and year out in the NFL. That's why you know if you got a Super Bowl team, you need to take advantage of it. At least win one.
Yep. Tom Brady is the only person who don't struggle with that. He could lose Super Bowl and be back next year.
Yep.
Unbelievable. That's crazy. But literally, like you said, everybody else like struggles. Everybody loses Super Bowl, or in the case of the Eagles, win the Super Bowl. And yeah, I don't know what's been up with them since then. But
No.
So let's look at some more comments. Ian said we just kind of game that plays the Titans favor. Yep, we
I agree.
the same. He also said Bills so legit. How these type of games start to get up for? It's weird.
Said the
Yep,
same thing.
very weird. Power Hour. What's my name? What's up, man?
Power
What's up?
hour.
Hey guys, think we need to watch out. Yep, Gabe Davis. That's another name from
Yep.
UCF.
Yep.
Yep, remember him in college as a Memphis fan. Trust me.
Watched them, but yep, watched them in person. Yep.
No, my gut says he's one of the guys to maybe after no one sees coming. Yep, I could definitely see that. So let's actually get into Titans Bills preview. So, like I normally do, especially with you being a Titans fan, with guess me, I normally don't pick the game. Being it's obvious bias, although I am mostly a realist. But just for the bias purpose, we just choose offense, key to win on offense and key to win on defense. I know, like I said, everybody check out your new show, The Jump Pass. You actually spoke on the episode, your first episode you just dropped. So, just speak on it again. What's your key to win on offense and one key to win on defense?
The key to win on offense is basically you've got to run the football. The Derrick Henry. I know that's an obvious answer, but the reason why I'm saying this is because the Bills, if, like I said, if it's one chink in their armor, they can't stop the run. I mean, Kansas City is not normally a running team, and they got 120 yards rushing as a
Wow.
team. So if Derrick Henry can do that by himself, I can only imagine what more he could do. Now, with that being said, I think the Bills might change their game plan up a little bit on defense because they got the number one defense. I don't know if anybody noticed this. People talk about their offense, but they got the number one defense right now, and they got some good players: Jerry Hughes, Tre'Davious White,
Jordan
Porter, Michael Hyde. They got
Mhm.
some players on that defense. So they probably going to drum up a game plan to try to stop Derrick Henry. So this is going to be, I feel like, in my opinion, this is a Ryan Tannehill game where he needs to kind of take over, get his receivers involved. We're going to cross our fingers that Julio and AJ both play at the same time.
Look like they
And
are.
then, yep. So it's trending that way. So let's hope that remains true. And then get some of the other guys involved. Your boy McCole Pruitt.
Yes.
Marcus Johnson, those guys need to step up as well. And I just think that this is a Ryan Tannehill game. I think this is a Ryan Tannehill 3 to 4 touchdown game that he needs to have because they're gonna try to stop Derrick Henry. And usually, good teams usually do a decent job of containing Derrick Henry, so that puts the pressure on Ryan Tannehill. So he needs to step up.
Yep.
So that's my keys to the offense. For the offense, keys to the defense is going to be very simple. Secondary. It's definitely got to be the secondary. Fulton, Janoris Jenkins. I'm not going to call him Jack Rabbit until he actually make a play that's worth that nickname. So right now he's Bunny Rabbit right now. So we're gonna keep it at Janoris right now. But he got to step up those safeties. Whether it's Hooker, I don't know if Hooker's going to play. Byers got to continue to do what he did against Jacksonville. That was his best game since 2019, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to be the key because those Bill receivers, they deep. Power Hour mentioned Gabriel Davis. I forgot to mention him. He's like the fifth option on that
Right.
team, who could be a
Crazy.
lot of teams' third option, the second or
Hmm.
third option. So the key to the defense is, I think Josh Allen likes the big plays, and I think
Yep.
you have to make Josh Allen an
Make it jump.
impatient. Yep,
Uh-huh.
you got to make him impatient, because what's going to happen is, if he gets tired of thinking and dunking down the field, he's going to want to try and take a chance and throw it and take a shot. And the Titans got to be ready to get those turnovers, get the turnovers, and once they do that, the Titans offense has to take advantage of that and turn those turnovers into points. So I think the key for the defense is find ways to get turnovers, find ways to pressure, be selective with your pressure, blitz sometimes, give Josh Allen some different looks. But really the main key, make him an impatient thrower. If you make him an impatient thrower, I guarantee you he's going to make some mistakes. He does not want to dink and dunk. Tom Brady, he don't mind thinking and dunking. That's what he do. Josh Allen don't want to think and dunk. He want them chunk play. He want them 20, 30-yard pass plays. If you make him impatient, he's gonna force some throws, and Titans got to be ready for it.
Yep. I mean, great points. Basically, how we beat them last year.
Yep.
Like I said, made him like impatient. He threw 2 picks. We had 3 turnovers in the game. That's how we. Cause I think they outgained us in yards. They went 13 for 17 on third down. Scored both their red zone trips, but we won 42-16 based on 3 turnovers. We capitalized on each turnover. And that game, Derrick Henry only had 57 yards. Although he's known for that big stiff arm, he only had 57 yards the game.
Yep. And that was a Ryan Tannehill game. I think he had
three
what, 3
touchdowns.
touchdowns. Yep.
Yep. So really, you spot on. Like you said, you stated exactly how we beat them last year.
Yeah.
Exactly the route to take. I think this would be our most healthiest Titans team we've probably seen since week 1. It's looking like, because they did see Amani Hooker did practice today. Julio Jones practiced 2 days in a row. So it's looking like they might be back. Darren Evans is practicing too as well. Bud Dupree is practicing. We just might have everyone back except Jayon Brown for this game. Cross his fingers, but if that's the case, everybody said Christian Fulton.
Fulton, yeah.
Maybe he's questionable. Also, Caleb Farley missed practice, so we was hoping he'd play if Christian Fulton was out. Bunny Rabbit will bring on board us. So that goes to my keys. My keys is get pressure and contain Josh Allen. Basically, my keys for the first 2 games, saying was to contain Kyler Murray and contain Russell Wilson. Did a good job on Russell Wilson, not so much of Kyler Murray. Josh Allen, same thing. He could run. So took off like 30-yard run against the Chiefs. Like, it's not so much sacking him because he's big, like how Big Ben used to be. It's just hard to like really get him down, but just like keep him in a contained area where, like you said, make him uncomfortable. Try and bring him down if you can, but make sure he doesn't get any big plays with his feet and any big plays down the field. You get pressure, you can help though. If we're without Christian Fulton and Caleb Farley, you can help your back end cornerbacks. But if we do have Monty Hooker back, that does help a lot significantly. The other safety spot over Dan Cruikshank, who last week he had a bad week. The week before that he did had a bad penalty. So he's been up and down. He's been better than Meduga, but he
Yeah. Yeah, Meduga definitely been struggling. So then when I saw Cruikshank struggle, I was like, man, Hooker need to come back real quick.
Like, yep, they came back right in time. It's kind of feel like they like held these folks out. Like, we knew that when they held them out, Julio, AJ, and Bud Dupree against the Jets, we was like, they're basically saying let's try and win this game without them, which they probably still should have. And they end up not doing it. But they was like, got this 5-week stretch. You got the Bills, Chiefs, at the Colts, at the Rams, and the Saints at home. Like this, I call it a gauntlet. This is a crazy 5 weeks that's about to come up, and now we're here. And the crazy thing about it, the Bills are 4-1. Guess what? We're 3-2. We win this game. We got the same record, and we got the tiebreaker. Just like that, we're back in the playout number 1 seed race. So the Jets game, as bad as it was, it's like you can make up. When we lost the Jets game, I said now we got to make up for it, because basically I had us going 3-2 in this stretch. Now we got to go 4-1 in this stretch due to that loss. If you win that game, you can afford to maybe lose a game, go 3-2 in this stretch. Probably still can, but if we want to battle for actual home field, 4-1, you get, especially I think the Bills, Chiefs, and Colts game are the more important because that's tiebreakers conference
Yeah,
game, conference
yeah, I
division
agree.
game.
Yep, I agree with that. And you don't want to go to you don't want to go to Buffalo in the playoffs, man. It's cold. It might rain. The wind might be there. It might snow. You really never know what's going on in Buffalo. Kansas City, the same way. I mean,
Yep.
you don't want to go in those places trying to win a playoff game. So definitely, I think getting home field is very important.
Yep. Well, who could be added to the active roster in time? We'll see. I know today was Thursday. If he practices again tomorrow, there's a chance they can go and activate him tomorrow. I think now Saturday they got to Saturday. I want to say.
Saturday, yeah, because
Yep.
of the Monday night game. Yep.
Yep. So they got to Saturday. So if he practices tomorrow, that may be good news. So that's the hope. That he and definitely if he comes back, that kind of help if Christian Fulton's out. Hopefully Caleb Farley can play. I really want to get him out there. He did some things against the Jags. He also has some slip ups, but I mean he's getting his feet wet. Like he needs to be out there and learn how to play. Power hour said Ray Dons might see some playing time with all the injuries on the offensive line, and that goes to my key for the offense. I want to say protect Ryan Tannehill. We can say Ryan Tannehill have a game, but he needs to get protected in some way. I think, and to me, it's up to Todd Downey in this case. Todd Downey, and he did great. The Jacksonville game. I mean, of course, it's Jacksonville, but man, a good play call. I think the first 1 or 2 drives, his play calling was pretty good the rest of the way. But I think he needs to help Tannehill, and I believe Tannehill, he's played receiver in college. He can run some. Like call some plays to get him out in space. Call some plays to get him to roll out to, like use his feet more to buy more time, especially if Julio and AJ are back. If the Browns want to go ahead and try to stop Henry, we gotta take advantage. Like we got Julio and AJ. That's the reason we got Julio for this reason. That's the reason he's an upgrade over Corey Davis for this type of scenario.
And then also, that read option with him and Henry, that like
Every time.
99.9% of the time it works
Every
because
time.
everybody is selling out to stop Henry. And
Mm-hmm.
Tannehill, every time they run that play, Tannehill usually gets about 20 yards
Yep.
every single time.
Yep.
But if you really look at it, though, the offensive line, it's been very inconsistent. To me, I always say they old, injury ridden, and inconsistent because that's what they really are. You take away a couple of games, they haven't been too bad. I mean, you look at the Jets game, you look at the Cardinals game. They gave up a combined 13 sacks.
Yep.
The rest of the games,
Four.
they only gave up 4
Four.
or 5 still. Yeah, so it hadn't been that bad, but it's just the inconsistencies which offensive line is going to show up, and the injuries got a lot to do with it, but also the inconsistent play, especially from the tackles and especially with
Mm-hmm.
Taylor Lewan and whoever's going to be at right tackle. It's
Yep.
kind of like a circus right now at right tackle right now.
And PFL actually had high grades for David Crinsberry. So and Tyson Braylow retired, so he's
Yep.
out of the picture. Hopefully everything I know injury wise, hopefully everything is good with him. But it seemed like just like I said, inconsistency. Taylor Warren, the prime example. He terrible game against the Cardinals. He's actually been pretty good since then. Had a little bit. Just game against he wasn't that bad. It was more so Nate Davis and David Kinsberry. And Nate Davis, I don't know what happened. I did say this, I think either last episode, a couple episodes ago. COVID, he did come off the COVID list right before the season. I remember Cam Newton got COVID last year. He was playing
Mhm.
really good. And after he came back from COVID, he fell off. So I think that has to play something into it. Like even Tannehill. And Tannehill actually hasn't been bad. It's just he ain't been protected really much. That's been his problem. And injuries at receiver. Your number one receiver was Josh Reynolds, who had been out all offseason at some point. We didn't have Marcus Johnson in that game. So a lot of different things. Marcus Johnson back. He did really good Sunday. He looked like a actual I saw him. I was like, dang, he was better than all the receivers that played the last week.
Yep.
I saw the hype training camp. I was like, oh, he looks apart. Like you could tell, like, oh, he looks different.
Right. Yeah, he's definitely stood out because I was like, dang, okay. Now I see what everybody's talking about because everybody
Mm-hmm.
keeps saying, oh, he's having a great practice. He's having a great practice. I'm like, but when you going to play, though?
Right.
I don't care about practice. I can't see practice. I can see the game, though. So when he finally played, I was like, okay, I can chill out now. I can see what everybody else is seeing now. So, yeah, I think it can be a weapon going forward.
Yep. But My main offensive thing is same as last year: protective football by any means necessary. I've honestly been pretty light on the defense this year. A lot of reasons because the offense. I'm like, our defense has gotten better, but we're not good enough to be up. We're not good enough to only have a 9-0 lead. What was that? 9-7 against the Jets in the
Hmm.
third quarter, towards the end of the third quarter. Our defense ain't top 10, top 5. They not there yet. And we didn't. I mean, we was 28 last year. We just wanted to be middle of the pack. They're about there. I think they fell down to 22 now, but they were 17. I think the week before that. When, in my opinion, injuries, but the pre-ban and out. That's another pass rusher, and we've got much better at pass rushing. Just giving up those big plays, and once again, Monty Hooker being out, Christian Fulton being in and out every other play with injury. Caleb Farley not being hurt. So it's a lot of stuff plays to that. Chris Jackson, he was playing well, then got hurt. So it's just like we just ain't had no luck. Jayon Brown, our best coverage linebacker, out. So it's just a lot of different things like that. But overall, defense to me hasn't been bad. They haven't been great. They've been pretty average, which is where I want it. Offense needs to help them. Don't need to fumble into the opponent's territory. I don't count that against the defense when you give a touchdown to one yard line because of a fumble. Like
Exactly.
kind of hard. Like, because you look at the Cardinals game, I broke this down. I don't think on the episode, but the Cardinals scored 38. Really, our defense only gave up 24. Ryan Tannehill fumbled at the 1, and he had another fumble at like the 40-yard line on their side. I can't really fault the defense for giving up touchdowns against that offense.
Right.
Like, the Seahawks game, we same thing, had a fumble inside their territory. They scored 30, really only gave up 23. Our offense is supposed to average 30. So
Yeah.
in that case, we win them games if you don't put the defense in a tough position and actually do what you're supposed to do. So offense, protect the football at any means necessary. Whatever you got to do. Offense line, please show up.
Do something, man, please.
Yeah, like I said, like we both agreed to. Like I said, we don't I necessarily want to pick a winner, but we do believe the Titans. We show up for big games. This game, I'm not. It's crazy. I was nervous for the Jets game. Last week I really wasn't nervous. I kind of knew it's going to start slow, but the Jags are the Jags. We're going to eventually roll away. Derek Henry can get rolling like you normally do. This week I'm kind of like, yeah, I'm nowhere nervous for this game. It's like this is exactly what we want them. Like, it's crazy. Like Ian said earlier, it's weird, but it's the Titan way for whatever reason over the time period.
Yep. I mean, you said it. I mean, this is what they do. Team, got the media, they believe in them, then they let you down because they lose to an inferior opponent. And then it's back to, okay, the Titans are not really that good. Then you got ESPN, you got Fox, you got all these different media outlets. They're like, all right, they're all going to pick the Bills. We already know this.
Yep.
So let's not even worry about it. Let's not play this shock factor like, oh, they don't believe in us. I mean, if I wasn't a Titans fan, I'd probably pick Buffalo too. I'm not going to even lie. Especially, I'm looking at the Titans. I'm like, oh, y'all lost to the Jets. I'm picking Buffalo. Definitely. But this is exactly the way the Titans want to play it. They play the spoiler very well. They play the underdog role very, very well. And nobody believing in them. And I think we're going to get the best version of them because we hadn't seen the best version of the Titans this season. But I think this is the exact game where you're going to see pretty much a lot of things that they've been really struggling on. They improve on, and then they end up they'll be maybe the talk of the town, but they might still say, "Oh, what did Buffalo do wrong?" and all that. But that's cool. That's fine. Whatever. At the end of the day, as long as the Titans are on the right side of the scoreboard with a W, that's really all we as fans should just care about. So,
really, you spoke it because I mean, Buffalo, I think it was undefeated going to the game last year.
Yeah, we both. Yeah, Titans and Bill, both undefeated. So yeah.
So it really plays into our hands, like you said. It just feel like football guys on our side this week with Julio, Bud Dupree, Monty Hooker possibly. Like everybody returned. It's like, wow, y'all came back right in time for this game. Ironically, huh?
Yeah, the
Like,
NFL's version of load management.
right. Like it's like this ain't no coincidence. Y'all ain't fooling us. Or say we go ahead and take our chances to get the Jets.
Right, right.
But hey, I'm cool. I guess I'm gonna be cool with it if we pull out the wins and get to our goals. But if we don't, then I ain't cool with it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, power out since we have reunions going on. I'd love to see William come back, but doubt that happen. Yeah, I doubt that'll happen. He won't play much. Well,
Now,
for leadership purposes though, they do need like the real leader on defense that we still really don't truly have.
yeah, that's true too. But if you recall, last year, Woodyard came into I believe it was the podcast in Nashville, I
Oh
believe.
yeah, he was
And
mad.
yeah, he was a little upset the way he left. Had some things to say about variables. I highly doubt it that if he wanted to come back, he'll come back in two-tone blue.
Yeah, but even him, I think somebody's gonna play. I
Yeah,
don't
that's
see
true too.
him.
Yeah,
I think he really has aged, and I don't know if he's has any much left, but you never know.
yeah.
Facts, Ryan, man. Yep, about the Bills. All right, so let's get to week 6. Upset pick of the week. You've been pretty good with these in the comments the last couple weeks. Who you got?
All right, so I ain't gonna lie, I was struggling, but I did find one that I think I just got a hunch. So Dallas, right? Dallas Cowboys been playing some great football. Won 4 straight games. They could have beat the Bucks, opening week,
Yeah.
but they played New England. They're at New England. I just think it's just one of those weird kind of games where it's at Gillette Stadium. It may
Yep.
rain. It may be some fog or something. I don't know, man. It's always something weird going on in that stadium. And Bill Belichick lives for these kind of games where he has to like stop the opposing team's offense. Now, I will say this: that in order for the Patriots to win, they're gonna have to ugly up the game. They can't go into no shootout with the Cowboys, or else they are going to
Oh,
get
so
blowed out. Yeah, but I got the Patriots upsetting the Cowboys. I got it like a low scoring game. I think it's going to be maybe low 20ish kind of a score. But I got Nick Folk kicking the game, winning the field goal, and beating the Cowboys.
he ain't gonna get that loud donkey head against Tampa Bay this time. Gotcha.
Nah, no doinks this time. If it doinks, it might
Right.
go in though. So you never know
Right.
with kickers. So
That was the loudest one I ever heard. Like that joke was like, "Don't!" Like you heard, it was like, "Dog."
yeah, I thought when I heard it, I was like, I had to cut my TV down, but it was already loud. It was already low. I was like, wow, that was a loud one. So I don't know if it was like a mic I don't know if it was a mic next to the goal post, but it was really loud. Though. I was surprised how loud it was because usually, I mean, you'll hear it, but you really heard it. Like it's like you
Oh,
could really, really hear it that time. I don't know what was going on with that one.
that joke was wild. But interesting you say kickers because this was a bad week for all kickers all the way around. Lucky kicking ain't that big. I don't know what's up with Sam Ficken, but Bullock ain't doing too bad. I wasn't mad at him at all the Jets game. I mean, he kicked like 4 field goals in the game before he missed the last one. So I can't. Yeah, they need to score more than 24 points. That's how I feel about that.
Facts. I agree.
Can't be kicking field goals in the red zone 3 times. Just can't be doing it.
Yep. Gets a bad team too. I mean, any
Right.
team, but especially a bad team.
Keep him in the game. And speaking of bad teams, the Lions have came close. I mean, they should have beat the Ravens. I mean, that was luck. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
A win's a win. And I always say that woulda, coulda, shoulda, but man, if that wasn't the luckiest thing I've seen, they have a great kicker. I mean, Just Tucker might be the greatest. He could be greatest kicker of all time.
You're right. Facts.
That pass, they made before the kick, that 4th down, the Lions left the receiver open. So Lamar Jackson made the throw. So Lions blew that one. Last week, the Vikings gave them a game, and they still found a way to lose at the end. I got the Lions, man. I know being Cincinnati is good. I had Cincinnati pick as my upset pick last week. Ironically, what we just got done talking about field goal kickers, 5 straight missed kicks by both kickers, including Cincinnati kicker. Think he made the field goal in overtime. Like I just had no luck in my upset picks. I've been close though. Like I had the Cowboys beating the Bucks. That was right there.
Yeah,
Cincinnati beating Green Bay, although they had the same record, but that was been considered upset. They were right there. Which one I did connect on one. I missed Vikings lost to the Browns. I had that one. They were close,
I had that
11-7.
one too. Yeah.
It was one I hit. I can't think. It was in week 2. I can't remember it right now off the top of my head. But give me Detroit getting that first win against Cincinnati. They got them at home. I mean, like I said, they've been on. I can't think of a game they got blown out in. Well, they were getting blown out by the 49ers and came back
Right.
at the end. So I can't really think of a game that they've just lost. Like just lost. Like they've been in every game. So give me the Lions to finally get off the hump. Sorry, Cincinnati, but hey, and also Joe Burrow is playing. He's on voice rest. I saw that last night. Had a throat contusion, so I was like, yeah, he's supposed to be playing, but Corbin's got to talk.
You're right. You got a point there. Hey, I ain't mad at the upset pick though. I mean, they play hard for Dan Campbell, so they do play hard for Dan Campbell if you compare it to Matt Patricia. So I can definitely see that happening.
Yeah, for sure. Ian said Bullock has been serviceable. Yep, I say he's been. I think he's like 9 for 11 or something on the season, and he was perfect on extra points to the last one, last Sunday, which every kicker missed the extra point that week. It felt like, except Justin Tucker.
Yeah.
Yep, crazy weeks. But that does it for the show, man. Appreciate you coming on again. Had a blast. Can you plug where everybody can follow you at and where everybody can follow your show at?
Shows, yes. All right, so you can follow me personally at Twitter at Ryan Harris 662. The 662 represents where I'm from, where I was born from, Clarksdale, Mississippi. Yes, sir. So follow me at Ryan Harris 662. Also got the Post Game Huddle. You can follow there at Post Game Huddle, and then you can also follow me at my new podcast, which is called The Jump Pass. So it's at the Jump Pass. The T, the J, and the P is in capital letters, and then TN as in Tennessee. So follow those 3. I got some good stuff going on with all podcasts, especially the new one. I got some stuff that I'm got up my sleeve. Can't wait for you guys to listen in and tune in.
Yep, for sure. Make sure y'all check them out. Like I said, great follow. Follow you a couple months since earlier this year now. So, man, know your stuff. So, hey, like I said, man, Titans fans, we all support. Let's all support each other. Each of our pages, each of our podcasts. We all in this together. So remember, follow me at my personal, the _P Shark. Like you said, I had burner accounts last week.
Yeah. You got like 6 of them.
They said I'm not sure the promo for our Let's Be Real thing, but my Grizzly podcast that's not part of my podcast network, Grizzly Bear Blues blog. You follow them, SB Nation Grizzlies, SBN Grizzlies. They write posts every day. So if you like basketball, like the Grizzlies in Pacific, Memphis Grizzlies, every day, they pretty much push out content every day, writing. And my podcast, we are starting this past week every Monday. Season starts next week. You're excited, Ja Morant, everything this season. So looking for exciting seasons with the Memphis Grizzlies for the co-Titans and Grizzlies fans. And remember to follow LBR Titan Up for my Titans podcast page and watch the promo for the rest of the Let's Be Real Media team. Welcome to Let's Be Real Media, a podcast network that provides your official game plan for sports, culture, and music. Headlined by the Let's Be Real podcast featuring P Shark, Scott Lido, Tel Shakir, Trevor, Sheedy, and Savage, and includes other podcasts like the I Don't Know Sports podcast by Savage, the Let's Tighten Up podcast by P Shark, Scooting with Sheedy by none other, the name says it itself, Sheedy, Pittsburgh County podcast by Trevor, and Let's Talk About It by Uncle Mike. You can follow us on social media at LB Real Media on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And as you can see, the website, go on the website, lbrealmedia.com to check us out. Thanks. Yep. And if y'all know any Pittsburgh Steelers fans, follow me. I got Trail from Pittsburgh County holding down for the Steelers Nation over there. Definitely probably have him on, or we probably do some type of combination when Titans play the Steelers in December. So, ironically, great. Of course, that comes up And Power Hour said, great show. Appreciate that. My
Appreciate
guy.
it.
And be sure to check out Power Hour as well, man. We release this show mostly, I think, every Monday, going live every Monday. Like I said, all the Titans podcasts, Titan Rozzy, Titans and Truth, Titan Anderson, Titan Upload, Mr. Titan, Tennessee Titans Weekly. I mean,
It's growing and growing.
but for hours, like it's just, I mean, we just rolling, man. Like I said, National Beat don't talk about us, rightfully so. Like we just explained with us being inconsistent, so kind of understand. But you talk about the Cowboys, all that they're inconsistent, so.
Yeah. Well, it kind of comes with the territory. I mean, we're a small
Small
market,
market,
so
exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. Ditto. So I appreciate checking us out, Al Pierce. So until next time, remember, let's tighten up.
Tighten up.